Smash Mutts.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm so going to call him that now. Oh, man.
Somebody once told me the Mutts was gonna...
Man, if anyone would sue us over anything...
Yeah, it's probably those guys.
Well, he's dead now, right?
Is he? Yeah, I think
the
you're right.
vocalist of Smash Mouth killed himself?
That doesn't... I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna leave that alone. The dude may or may not be dead.
Welcome into the 2 Decades Too Late podcast, gang. Well, you know what? Here we are. Where is he? Smash Mouth. Oh, there he is. Looking...
Alive or dead?
A lot of in memory popping up. So I'm thinking, he died in 2023.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
It's a couple years. Heart attack?
Okay.
Drugs?
It looks like he essentially drank himself to death.
Oh, okay.
Which has a lot of words that are difficult to pronounce, much like the album that we're going to rate and review today.
Beautiful segue. Love it.
I am Brad, hanging out with Josh.
How's it going, gang?
This is a podcast in which we rate and review an album that is turning 20 years old, mostly metal for whatever it's worth. Definitely that today.
Definitely.
Josh and I each give a rating of 1 to 5 to 4 different parameters for an individual maximum point total of 20 and a combined maximum point total of 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's math. For sure.
It is. That's mathin'. That's Matheson.
So
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So today we have a very, very metal album coming at you all the way from where, Jim? Probably where, Jim?
Cleopatra coming at you. But yeah, probably.
Yep. Where, Jim? Belgium.
Yeah.
This is probably the only band that I know of from Belgium, so that's probably a dead giveaway, much the same our Gojira was.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I'm sure Belgium seems less weird than France for some reason.
I get that.
I don't know why. I mean, I guess chocolate?
Yeah. Waffles? Sure.
Apparently a really great place to drive and everything per Top Gear.
All right.
They always like to go to Belgium.
I can't blame them.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, seems great.
This is a band who writes albums entirely about waffles and chocolate. It is...
Yep.
Today we've got Aborted, the Archaic Abattoir.
Abattoir.
Or if you're so inclined to look up what those word means, it's Ye Ole Slaughterhouse.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know. Gruesome.
I assume a modern slaughterhouse is quite disgusting. I cannot imagine what a ye olde. A lot of awful.
Yeah.
They're both bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can eat awful. It's not my thing, probably.
Awful. Awful?
I still call it awful. I've heard it.
I mean, it is
awful.
Yeah.
I almost want to say awful, but it feels like I'm
the asshole.
A white American.
Yeah.
So I probably shouldn't put the stank on that like that.
Yeah. I mean,
but it seems right. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah. So Aborted, active for an entire decade at this point. Started in...
Which I don't know about you, but do you feel like that's late or early? I kind of feel it is both somehow. I'm like, I expected them to either be on the heels of the original wave of death metal, but also they sound nothing we're talking about genres on this. I mean, we might have to start having the genre corner with Brad, where he discusses a thing he thinks he knows a lot about.
That'd be fantastic.
Probably knows very, very little about. But yeah, I don't know. Part of me seems like they've been...
People had opinions about that on this particular album.
I bet, because I do.
Yeah.
So,
Sick.
I mean,
But yeah, I feel like that's slightly earlier than I would have guessed. Like, I definitely would not have put them in the 80s. But probably closer to like 2001 if I had to really nail it down.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I guess 95. I guess 95 is on the heels of the first wave of American death metal, so maybe that's not weird.
And their first album, The Purity of Perversion, 1999. So that kind of lands for me. Engineering the Dead in 2001, and then Gore-mageddon, The Saw and the Carnage Done in 2003.
That's such a fucking rad album title. My God. Honestly, they crush it on song titles, imagery.
It's a lot, but yeah.
I like the gore thing. I dig it. I don't like it in movies, but I dig it in my death metal for whatever reason.
Yeah, and they do like just the right amount too. Like they've got a very deft hand when it comes to it. And go ahead and mention, I think the studio that does their artwork or that did the artwork for this album is called Killustrations, which is just fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
God, that's awesome. That's like the most child-friendly way to shoehorn the word kill into something. Like,
Miss Rachel and Killustrations up next.
Oh man, that's great. That's really good.
This is a deer that's been shot and his head hung on a wall, but not in a meaningful way. It's just nailed there.
Man, that nothing's topping Killustrations this episode.
No, probably not.
So if you want to exit, you're probably good. But 'cause we've already peaked. God, that's great.
And they're still going with it all too. So like they had last year's album, Vault of Horrors, was just amazing. One of my favorites of 2024.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know what they do really well? They crush guest artists.
Yes. 3 on this album.
Yeah, and they're all really well placed. Like the vocalist on track 1, which I'm probably not going to be able to
Michael Bublé.
The person's name. It does look like Bog Ballet.
Ball.
I don't know.
Gag.
But his vocals
ball
are
gag.
sick on that. You get ball gag. Michael. His first name's Michael. Those two things aren't the same. Michael Ball Gag.
He was such a quiet boy.
I don't like that for some reason. Like that bummed me out. He better be a quiet boy.
Oh Jesus.
Anyway.
Yeah. So this album released April 17th, 2005. Which is weird. This is the first like non-American wiki page where they actually put the date in American format. Typically it's like 17 September of 2000. But
yeah. Which I should be so used to. I mean, I have been dealing with that for 15 years in my career, but it doesn't matter. Apparently the preceding 20 whatever 2 years 23. Ugh.
How many ever?
Yeah, it's a lot. God damn it. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
This 38 and like
this album also released on Listenable, whom we may remember from Gojira.
Yeah.
And
that's weird.
Yeah, they apparently have a great slate of artists. Soilwork either is or was on Listenable at one time, and a few more really great bands.
That's pretty sick. Man, how much are you into Aborted? I mean, is this like...
I'm a fan.
First round? Okay, yeah, same. Like, I know that we both love the 2024 album, but like, it's probably worth mentioning that I didn't get into them till pretty late in the grand scheme of things. I think we talked about it off... I was going to say off air.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of right. But that Global Flatline in 2012 was my first foray into the Aborted catalog.
Yeah, I think I hit Slaughter and Apparatus, a Methodical Overture in 2007, and it was probably 2007 when I heard it. So this is the album
Makes sense.
immediately prior to that. But yeah, Global Flatline, Retro Gore, Terror Vision, Mania Cult. I think I've listened to all of them except maybe Strychnine and the Necrotic Manifesto. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm generally a fan. Like I like his vocals. He's the only guy who kind of sounds like him, and he's been doing the same vocals for these past 20 years. So they've just got a thing about them.
Yeah, I hate him.
I know you do.
But I don't hate his vocal. We'll get into it. It's fine. Though the one thing I will say, to the point of him not sounding like anybody else, that is not true when he does his mid. He and Dave Davidson from Revocation sound exactly the same.
That's true.
I mean, they enunciate the same. They do the delivery the same.
Yep.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I looked to see if Dave Davidson was a guest on this album.
When do we get to Dave Davidson? No. Like, when do we get Revocation? Because the song track 6, The Inertia, has a riff in it that it's either the first Aborted song I heard or it is a Revocation riff. It's the
I am going to read you my track 6, The Inertia breakdown. Man, that middle part is straight up Revocation. Doesn't hurt that Svencho's mid and Dave Davidson mids are exactly the same, but this whole song sounds like something from their 2013 eponymous record.
There you go. So Dave Davidson and Revocation sound like Aborted.
That's wild that we both came to that exact thought on the exact same song. That
riff is that
dude,
riff.
It's ridiculous. Like, if Dave Davidson would... But Dave Davidson, by all purposes, seems like one of the coolest dudes on the face of the planet Earth.
Yeah.
So I'm sure... And I've seen him in an Aborted shirt. So I'm just like, it's not weird that he would be influenced by them.
Right.
It's weird how much that song... I mean... there are sections of it that you could put straight up in a Revocation song and no one would notice. What song am I thinking
of? Is it called like something Horrifier?
It almost... I don't know. But it's 100% from a specific song. I couldn't remember it either. I assumed it was from the Revocation album only because that was the one I listened to the most.
Okay.
Well, their Deathless album I listened to quite a bit. Anyway...
I'm gonna do a quick side Google, and if it's not called like Beloved Horrifier, I'll give up. Go to artist.
Also, Revocation does not enter the picture until 2008, so we are still quite a ways away. That seems late for them. They kind of seem like I guess 2008 is a lot of my life. So never mind. I was gonna say it seems like they've been around for most of my life. Well, yeah. That is true. Because that was still very close to 20 years ago. Which sucks. But tell you what, once we get the ball rolling on the Revocation train, we'll have one almost every year because those motherfuckers release more music than anyone other than Spirit Box right now. Spirit Box is releasing music as if it is a sickness and they have to do that in order not to die.
Right.
It's like they're on the speed bus, except, they have to make music instead of drive a bus super fast.
Right. So Revocation has a song called Beloved Horrifier on the Chaos of Forms album in 2011. May not be the right one, but...
We will get back to you on next week's episode and let you know how that goes, because I do want to know now. All right, so it's... Oh, there it is. Beloved Horrifier. Okay. I've got a page saved as soon as we're finished. Man, look at the ratings for that album. All right, not what we're talking about.
Nope.
But boy,
we got 3 years.
Chaos of Forms is pretty sick. Okay, back to Aborted.
Yeah. So this is straight up death metal, apparently, according to the wiki page. And apparently, some people had a problem with that. And I'm gonna start with the Blabbermouth review, and then I'll let you go to town. But the Blabbermouth review starts with proving once and for all that internet idiocy knows no bounds.
I wasn't ready for that. Jesus, Blabbermouth's usually pretty right-handed too. That is heavy.
Parenthetical, as if a trip through this site's comment forums didn't already do that. There's actually scattered talk here and there of Aborted's new blister piece, the Archaic Abattoir, being a sellout for its incorporation of a little bit of heartwork, groove, and the blasphemous inclusion of, gasp, individual memorable songs. If you're one of these zealots, just listen to yourself for a second. The band is called fucking Aborted. Do you think they're going to end up on Ozfest anytime soon? Get out of the chat room and go outside or something.
I will kiss that person on the mouth.
That being said,
right now,
did we see them at a... No, probably like a Summer Slaughter.
It was Summer Slaughter. Okay. Yeah, we saw them. I think we saw them at Summer Slaughter twice.
We may have.
If I'm crushed it. I mean, it was kind of cool. That's what got me into Aborted, was seeing them live. I was like, my God, their live show's fucking
fantastic.
Sick. And I don't have to deal with this stupid fucking panned vocal shit.
Panda vocals?
So stupid. Like, you don't do it live.
So tell me about this genre thing.
Well, it's definitely not death. This is not a death metal. I mean, so what did we just
Last year we had Bloodbath.
Bloodbath. That's exactly right. If you want to listen to a capital D, capital M death metal from this almost exact time frame, listen to that, because that's what it is. It is just pure tribute to death metal, and this is not that, because they, Aborted that is, was still trying to move the meter. They were still pushing forward and growing as a band.
The very next sentence from the review is, the Archaic Abattoir is a perfect next step from the band's Gormageddon opus of a couple years ago.
There you go. I mean, they're this is why I never liked being a band that just wanted to keep making the same exact thing forever. No, you don't want to change genres and totally just blow out what it is that you like, what your identity is, but at the same time grow and learn and evolve.
Try new stuff. Bring in new influences.
Now, that said, if I was a diehard death metal fan in 2005, I probably would have been upset by this album.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It's melodic death metal at best. At worst, I don't say at worst, because this is a good album, but it's got some straight up hardcore, which unfortunately the incel base of the metal community had to create slam and beatdown, because fucking God forbid our pure little death metal can also have some hardcore elements, and we can just call it that, you dumb fucks. Now luckily that's a very small percentage of the metal community actually acts like that, and even slam and beatdown now are their own respectable things, but don't get it twisted. Those terms came out of the hatred of death metal fans for hardcore.
Nice.
It's the metalcore thing. Just they went so far that they created genres to avoid the term hardcore.
Pretty good.
And I guess, yeah. Girls don't like you because of you. It's your fault, not theirs. I need you to really listen to me when I tell you that. It is your fault. But so yeah, I don't think this is death metal. It is mostly death metal, but it's got this straight up has track 2, which I'm not trying to skip track 1, Dead Reckoning.
Sure.
Great song. Also, the lengths on these tracks, chef's
sweet
kiss.
spot.
I mean, this
just the whole thing comes in at 36 and a half minutes.
Yeah, you knock it out, but then there's that 5-minute song, and you're like, okay, no, this is good. But yeah, Dead Reckoning's a great track to open the album. It was super good first song, and I do miss the movie quote things, the movie clips. Those are fun.
That one American was from Psycho. American Psycho, and there's a Blade one on here too.
Exactly, yeah. Fuck them, or fuck all of them. Something I forget. But Blood Fixing the Bled.
Hey.
They straight up incorporated the obligatory rock and roll riff in 2005. I was like, this trend reached Aborted?
Belgium.
Why? I'm super glad it did, because it sounds rad as shit, but it's not a death metal move. Not even a little bit. I mean, there's a breakdown in one of these.
There is a breakdown. There's guitar solos. There's lots of stuff.
And you know what this is a really good example of? kids out there, you don't even have to worry about this now because fake drums sound so good. You're very lucky. But if you have a really good drummer, you can make yourself sound tech even though you're not at all, because the guitar riffs on this album could not be more basic. To a weird extent, it's like, wow, I could probably learn this entire album in like a half a day. But like the way they composed it and everything, it sounds so. This is a very good example of being greater than the sum of your parts sort of situation for me anyway.
Yeah.
Not that you could draw a line with their members.
Yeah, I was
trying
going
to
to say,
figure out like,
let's give some
who wrote
flowers.
this?
Let's give some flowers to the members on this particular album. And again,
that's a good call.
Very sorry about pronouncing last names, but
these are tough.
Sven, the vocalist, we'll just stick with Svencho because that's his nickname.
Svencho is awesome.
Guitars, Bart Vergart from 2002 to 2005, so kind of just now.
This album, yeah.
Thijs de Kloot on guitars in 2000.
Man, Thijs, that's a fucking name.
And thank goodness that there was a quote TACE on the wiki page.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
2000 to 2006, bass was Frederick van Massenhove, 2002 to 2006, and then the drummer Gilles Delacroix from 2004 to 2006. So again, just this is a snapshot in time, pretty much, of members for the band.
And I gotta tell you, a lot of their albums are, unless the vocalist, and I guess I could have done a better job on my part, but there's really not a lot of info on Aborted, really.
Nah.
Like, even finding the producer of this album, like, I couldn't even do that via wiki.
No, it's right there.
Like, is it?
Oh, there's not a link for him, but...
Wait, where is the producer listed on the wiki for this?
It's just right there, right next to the word producer. It's Tui Madsen, Ant Farm Studios. He did Heaven Shall Burn, The Haunted. He did.
I mean, I found it all, but I don't know why I don't see this guy on their wiki. Like, I never look at that section of wiki.
Oh, okay.
Ever. Like
the one where all the information is.
Well, no, because I like to go down and see what the granular version is and not even bother. The dude has done a lot, though.
Lot of stuff.
My God, he has touched a lot of Heaven Shall Burn. He was on the one we did.
Antigone.
Antigone?
Yeah. Oh, fucking assholes.
They got me again, those fuckers.
Yep.
God. I knew it, too. Fuck, that. I hate myself. Okay.
We can cut that.
Nah, it's, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, the members are insane. Their little chart with the fucking,
it's huge.
Colored, my God.
So, the All Music review kind of touches on that aspect of this album. They talk about how, Sven's basically just leaving musicians on the Killing Room floor trying to find, the perfect... the ideal team of sonic butchers to wield instrumental knives by his side.
Oh, well said. My goodness.
But yeah, he does it on every album, too. I don't know where he's finding all these musicians.
I don't either. He must write a lot of the music, right? There's...
yeah.
But he doesn't get credited extra?
No.
So as far as I know, I have no proof of that. It's just, how can a band sound somewhat similar over that long with just...
It's the panning of the vocals.
Amount. I mean, yeah, you're probably right.
So he's either a phenomenal collaborator in a way that, Michael Keane is not, or he's not, but just keeps plowing through musicians who are willing to work with him. Yeah.
Well, so this being the earliest Aborted album I've ever heard, which was really surprising because I remember when Global Flatline came out, I remember distinctively that being the point where Ryan expressed dissatisfaction about them being less death metal.
Oh, really?
And more deathcore oriented. And now that I'm hearing this, I'm not saying he said it from his point of view, but
Sure.
I do remember us like having the conversation when we were recording the Abhorrent demo in like 2011 or 2012. 2012, yeah. And him just being like, yeah, people are pissed. But now that I'm hearing this, I don't really hear that big of a difference. Other than I think A Global Flatline is a better version of this.
Yeah.
I think it is a superior album, but I'm not shocked by what this sounds like.
No, absolutely.
I've heard that.
I am actually shocked by what this sounds like based on the brief conversation you and I had about it on like people.
Yeah, true enough.
People being so upset. Like, no, it's just like this doesn't sound 20 years worse by any means than the newest album.
Or like a completely different band or something.
No.
Like, not at all. I don't even really get. Again, 1% of fans got mad about this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to like paint with a broad brush. If you look up most studies and everything, the metal community is actually doing pretty great. But man, some of us just, and especially in 2005, we got mad about everything. Just every single thing. God, we were such bitches.
But we got it together.
But yeah, this is right in line.
There's kids with beards. They're doing okay.
I will say, I do disagree with the memorable part of Blabbermouth's.
Yeah.
I don't find this to be that memorable. It's a strange combination of while it's going, I enjoy it thoroughly, but once a song is over, I can't even like. I'll hear a moment in a song, like I'm listening to at track 3, Gestated Rabidity, and there's a part where I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" and then I get to Hecatomb.
Yep.
Hecatomb?
Yeah.
And then I can't even remember the part I was thinking about, fuck yeah, in the last song.
That is true. With the exception of the inertia, and only because it reminds me of a Revocation riff of a song that I've heard a lot. Yet there really isn't that much, but I did not go back and compare it to their previous album, which probably would be the key, because...
Yeah, probably.
Like... 3 albums prior, I could see this being even more of a blend of just gurgles and grunt.
Yeah, true. I mean, okay, so now we have listened to a Revocation song and listened to... Because I will say, I turned this on, I listened to it for like a whole day.
Yeah.
This didn't get fatiguing at all.
No.
This is a great album. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't like much of it individually.
Right. Yeah.
But together, I do enjoy it a great deal. This is a perfect... I'll have it on when I have like a time crunch for something.
There you go.
And I don't care what I'm missing, but every time I get locked in, I'm pumped. This is that kind of album for me where I like, okay, I got to get shit done in the next hour. Okay, I'll throw this on.
Yep.
It'll keep my interest while not making me think I'm missing anything. And I dig that sometimes from an album. So
sometimes you really need that from an album.
Couldn't agree more. How much do you want to break down? I mean, I'm not saying there are like valleys and peaks, and it's a well-written album.
It is a well-composed, well-structured album. We might as well just hit the rest of the names of the tracks because they're fun.
Yeah, they're sick.
Track 5, The Gangrenous Epitaph.
Hell yeah.
Mentioned track 6, The Inertia, several times. Track 7.
Yep, very good.
A Cold Logistic Slaughter.
Man, let me tell you, the word logistic is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that song title. That makes it so bad.
It's awful.
Already bad.
A Cold Slaughter would just be fine.
Yeah, a cold slaughter sucks, but a cold logistic slaughter is fucking horrendous.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Track 8, Threading on Vermilion Deception.
Sick.
Yeah.
God, that just sounds good. Also, at like a minute 30 in track 8, you know the part on Police Truck by Dead Kennedys where like, no siree, just giving tickets. I
do now, yeah.
That section of that song, it's like a mini death metal cover of that part of Dead Kennedys. Same chord progression. I couldn't take it seriously because like it's literally going. I'm
gonna have to go back and listen to that for sure.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm not saying on like the second listen through. It's the first time I heard it. I'm like, Police Truck by Dead Kennedys. Looked it up, played it, and I'm like, exactly. No siree, Jack. We're just giving tickets.
Yep.
But anyway, Continue. Oh, man. 9's the best one.
Voracious hemoglobinic syndrome.
Hell yeah.
And then track 10, Descend to Extirpation. I need a dictionary for most of these words.
Yeah, same. Extirpation I didn't look up because I thought I assumed I knew what the root was.
Extirp.
But now that I'm looking at this, well, yeah, now that I'm looking at the spelling, I definitely don't know what the root is. I think maybe I was thinking of extort rather than.
Okay.
What does that word mean? Did you look it up?
I did not.
I don't know what that means.
I got Dead Reckoning, and that was about it.
So now that we're hi gang, now that we're done with the genre corner, we'll move on to the Brad Reads a Dictionary. Extirpation is the complete removal of a species from a specific era, such as an island or region, and that bums me out.
Yeah, it's super bad. But I mean, This is Ye Ole Slaughterhouse, so.
True enough, and the place that lost whoever was probably using paper straws anyway, so good riddance.
Yeah.
I do plan on dropping that in every single episode, no matter how far the reach is from now until the end of time.
That's fantastic, because I've kind of gotten away from the American Dad references this season, so we need a new through line.
Hey, true enough. This will be the season of the paper straws.
This season. Let's write that album next.
I will. You know what? I got nothing to do today. By the end of the day, you will have some sort of weird instrumental from, what did I just say? The season of the paper straws?
Hell yeah.
I have so much homework, which is good because I'm off work for a few more days.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I have not much left to add. We'll just wrap up with like the end of the Blabbermouth, not the All Music review, the Blabbermouth review this time.
Well, right. Well, I'm locked in on this motherfucker. This person, I love this person. Whoever you are, I love you.
They're talking again about the switch of genre, if you can call it that. But what Aborted has done is keep the carcass influence and stick with the death/grind mentality, wedging melodic guitar runs, emotive soloing, and open chord breathing space into songs where lesser talents simply back up the cement truck and crush the life out of an entire record with meaningless, one-dimensional, quote, brutality.
Wow. Well done.
I know.
Who is this person?
I could probably look.
I was going to say, let's shout this person out. My God, that is... I love someone who can be intellectually savage.
Yeah. It's Olympic,
it's nice.
Maybe? Author is Colin.
Huh. Hi, Colin.
I'm going to say Olympic.
Olympic colon blow?
Yep. Mega colon
That's
blow.
not the kind of colon blow you want, is the Olympic version.
No,
You're
it's not.
Really
Gold medal.
A bad time.
Colon blow.
You know what? Colon blows come up a lot recently, and I'm not mad about it. You know, SNL 50 happens. It's kind of topical.
Yeah. It probably would fit better on a different Aborted album, but we can wedge it in here.
Yeah. All right. Get to the review?
Probably, yeah. Probably should.
Sick. Review! All right, Josh, we are going to hit the review portion on the Archaic Abattoir by Aborted. And to that end, what are you giving the old album art?
So what did you find for the album art? Because I stumbled across a second one that's different than the wiki page.
So everywhere that I looked had the same dude with a chainsaw, hard to read, shitty image quality kind of thing.
So let's see, actually on the Blabbermouth review and on Discogs, there is a version of the album art that has I'm just gonna send you a.
Oh, a house?
Yeah. It's an Archaic Abattoir. It's Ye
Yeah.
Ole Slaughterhouse.
That's such a better album cover.
It is such a better album cover. But since we all found the guy with the chainsaw, which is like the inside of the album, maybe, or like the cover of the booklet.
Oh, interesting.
It's still fine. Like, it's still Ye Ole Slaughterhouse. Yeah. There's a body, there's a guy with a chainsaw and a mask, and it's all terrible. But
yeah. Oh, and I just found my first version of it that I can actually see what's happening.
Yeah.
All the versions of this online are fucking terrible.
They are very bad.
It's actually, okay, I may have to rejudge this now that I finally found one that I can see what's happening. Like, in most of the versions, even the one on Spotify, I cannot read the album title. Yeah. It's illegible. Anyway.
It is Aborted.
Wow, you just blew my mind, so...
Yeah.
Continue with your thoughts on the artwork.
I kind of have to give both a 5, honestly.
Interesting.
Because, so they've got a style, and they've kind of kept the style throughout. Like, they let the gore, like I said, a deft hand on the gore. Like, this is obviously a very awful album cover.
Yes, of course.
But it doesn't go too far. It's death metal. It's Goremageddon. It's what you would think of when you think of an Archaic Abattoir. Yeah,
it's like implied horror rather than straight up on the nose horror.
Super well done.
Well, now that I can see it though, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd give it a 5 just because. Actually, no, the Foley. Yeah, okay. Well, you got me to a 5. I didn't land on it initially at all, but
you can read their logo. It's still scrubby enough.
It's one of the best logos.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the symmetry. I love how it is messy, but you can definitely read it. Like, It's so good. That part I was going to give that was lifting up the album art for me.
Nice.
But with the normal version of it that doesn't look like poorly printed off of like my 2000 Dell PC with the lines in the fucking
the
paper
dot
going
matrix printer.
across. Yeah, like that's what exactly. But that's what it looks like. That. Like, it looks terrible. But actually seeing the full like actual art of it, it's super sick. It makes me want to go play like Silent Hill or something.
Absolutely. And I can't tell which is more unsettling, the inside of the Archaic Abattoir or the outside of the Archaic Abattoir.
Outside, man. Spooky houses freak me out.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you don't know what's in there. Once you see what's in there, you know how to... It's terrifying.
Yeah. The barn door is slightly ajar.
Yeah.
Look at the bones.
Yeah, it's not good. Man, that's not good.
No, it's not.
Whatever's going in there's bad. But you don't know what. That's why it's terrifying to me. It's like, oh, God.
That's fair.
What am I getting into?
Yeah.
Because you could walk in there and it could be like a ball pit. I don't know.
Well, you walk in there and there's a guy with a chainsaw dismembering a body and you're like, oh, well, it's the devil you know. Like, this is obviously better than wondering what's inside.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, you know what? 5s all around.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I was initially on a 3, but because honestly, part of me was like, it either is bad, and that's just the art they used, or I just can't find a good version that's been. And it turns out it's that.
All right.
Interesting.
I'm gonna let you hit production.
Ah, man. So this is I know we don't get into this sort of stuff too often, but this is the first one of these in a very, very long time that I didn't give preemptive scores. Okay. Because I don't know. I mean, really, the production is... So, drums are way too loud.
Okay.
I mean, I can just hear vocals and drums for the most part. The vocals are also... Why he does that, So, if you don't know...
It's the Killers.
If you don't... Well, so here's my thing, gang. If I'm gonna shit on the Killers and the Bravery for applying a vocal filter to the entire fucking vocal track, then I have to. His double tracked lows suck. They are. I don't get it at all. His lows are fine. They're weird. They don't sound like typical lows. They're like, I don't know how to explain it. They don't have the normal like gurgly. They're almost like super clean,
which is weird.
It's strange
because one of his nicknames is like Gurgloth or something.
But I don't think his lows sound anything like that. Like I don't even. Yeah, he enunciates way too well to have that sort of vocal delivery.
This is Admiral Akbar.
But seriously, all of his lows are panned hard left and right and double tracked. And I know it's him because I watched a whole video on Dave Otero doing a breakdown of his production for one of their recent albums, and him being like, and I got the files from Sven Show of his two, like he records every low track twice, and he requires that they be panned hard left and hard right because that's his signature style. Yep. But he doesn't do it with any of his other vocal performances. Like, so his mids and his highs, he doesn't do it. Yeah. He just does it for his lows, which actually makes me hate it more, not less. It's all like, right. I don't...
Aborted is credited as a producer, so that tracks.
Yeah, of course. And I will say, which sucks, the guitar and the bass are blended so perfectly. Their tones work so well together, but I can't hear it. It's like, it's just, and I like a heavy drum mix. Like, I like metal drums. I don't like that in a lot of stuff now we produce them out almost.
Yeah.
In a strange way. Like, I mean, you can go listen to Lorna Shore and it's like, yeah, the drummer's doing 10 quadrillion things, but the way they have it produced, it's like hard to even really hear him.
Yeah.
But like on this, like I want drums to stand out and be a thing, but I'm not like this. I don't. But at the same time, I do like the overall production together. But if I actually get granular with it, is where it starts to get bad. So I don't know. I could give this any number from 1 to 5. I couldn't give it a 5. I couldn't give it a 5. There's no way. Realistically, I can give it probably a 1 to 3. Being objective, being subjective, I could easily give it a 4. But I can't explain that to you at all. Like, I don't have any rhyme or reason for it, so...
Spin a wheel and pick a number.
All right, well, by that logic, I'll just go with a 3. It's the laziest decision I can make, but yeah. I'll just fence it all day. Sorry, gang. But it is what it is. I fucking hate that double pan thing on his voice. I hate it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5.
Wow. All right.
I mean... It's his thing. He does it. And, like, I mean, it's a stylistic choice, so you can't, like, knock the production for it, I don't think. Even though it's not, like, something that you personally care for. It's been the same for 20 years.
But it's a productive choice. Like, you're doing that production-wise. There's no other reason for you to do it. Like,
no.
There's, like...
Not one single reason.
It doesn't even boost the sound of his voice.
No.
Like, he pans it too hard left and right for it to actually benefit his vocal in the way that he's probably... I don't understand that decision. I don't think it sounds good, and it's not practical at all. Like, it's... Also, it's just like, why'd you just spend so much time
doing
like recording all your shit twice?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Anyway.
But yeah.
Fair though. Like, fair, okay.
I put on their brand new single from 2025 first, so it played through, and then this album played, and like, there's not a then versus now, really.
Interesting.
Like, maybe this is a little thinner, but like I said, they don't sound like 20 years better in 2025.
Man, they're getting this album's coming hard.
Yeah.
Coming hard at the paint? Is that how that's a thing?
I think so. Bassett Sports Ball.
Yeah. I won't waste a bunch of time on this. Even though, by the way, on Impact at the Time, I'm just going to throw this out there. This not being a straightforward death metal record, because it isn't.
No.
Like, so clearly I think Aborted and were similarly influenced.
Yeah.
So it's almost weird, like, we were doing, we had a lot of similar writing things happening at a similar time, which I never would have guessed. So we had to be getting influence from the same places here and there. But as far as them impacting me at all, I mean, I didn't even listen to them.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. So you know what? From the logic of a couple episodes ago, with that in mind, I will graciously bump this to a 2 because I feel like I don't know how they got the rock and roll riff in there. That's the one part I just couldn't get over. I'm like, you guys put the rock and roll riff in, and on track 2. That's a choice that you're like, now we need people to get to that.
Yep.
Like, don't put it too late in the album. Yeah. It's like, wow, all right. Weird.
Game time.
Weird. Yeah. What about you? What about the impact at the time?
I'm not going to bump it up to a 2. I'm just going to leave it at a 1. Like, I didn't even hear this band until 2007, most likely.
Yeah. You know what? So, you're right. I'm going to go to a 1. I can't even.
I can't even.
I felt like I wanted to do it as like I almost felt bad for the production. I don't, but
yeah. No.
You're right. It is a style choice, even though
it's a 1 for impact at the time.
I don't care for. Yeah.
And like, I probably like all the bands that this got compared to, I had never even heard in 2005. So
yeah, true enough.
Like the Waffles made it here. The death metal did not yet from Belgium.
I mean, if we're gonna have one early, I'm glad it was the Waffles.
Same.
All right, so varying opinions so far, and
only on production, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So what's this gonna be?
I'm gonna give it a 4 for enjoyed listening today. Like, I can't give it a honestly, that pan vocal thing, it's a bummer because I like everything they do for the most part, and I hate that so much, and it distracts me. Like, it genuinely takes me out of, like, I'm like, hell yeah, and this is gonna be right.
So given the choice between like listening to any Aborted album, you think like, oh, I'll listen to that, and then you think, but the vocals, and then you go listen to Revocation.
Yeah, I mean, well, not on purpose, but yeah, that is what I do. Or just not Aborted. I mean, like, their album in 2024 was so good that I just
so good.
It actually it counteracted my hatred for that stupid choice.
Well, and guest vocals on every single song, that kind of makes
every song. Yeah. He just didn't do it as much too, which doesn't hurt. And Dave Otero. Did Dave Otero do that album?
I don't know. You talking production wise?
Yeah, he is my favorite modern metal
producer. Not a link on their wiki for Vault of Horrors? What a pain in the ass. Co-produced by Aborted. Recorded, mixed, and mastered at Flatline Audio in Denver, Colorado.
I do know Dave Otero is in Denver.
Co-produced by Aborted. Great. Who's the other one? You can't be co-produced by one thing. Assholes.
What studio did you say it was?
Flatline Audio.
That's Dave Otero.
Okay.
Because he did like the last 2 Cattle Decap records. He did Archspire, Shadow of Intent.
Oh, great. Yeah, this guy's the man.
He is right now. There is no one else. He's pretty much it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he's so good. He's so good. Oh yeah, Aborted. Yep.
Perf.
Man. Anyway, all right. Well,
so it's a 4 for you?
4 for me.
Sick.
What about you?
I also gave it a 4. I couldn't quite give it a 5 because, like you said, it's something you can put on in the background. And I did listen to it multiple times, but it just never really like climbs its way to a 5 because the songs aren't that memorable. Now,
they're good.
Vault of Horrors, I would give a 5.
Yeah.
But there's
there's
just not enough, I guess, variety, sonic variety on this album to really push it to a 5 to make me like want to throw it on a bunch.
Sure.
It was cool. It was cool to go and like dust off an album I hadn't heard before from a band that I've listened to for a while. So that was cool.
No, totally agree. But yeah, it's
not quite
when
a
a song's done. Yeah, it's just not quite there. But I agree. All right. Well, I don't know what I expected my score to be on this, but I don't know if I expected it to be this high. I don't know. Anyway, Josh, you ended up with a 15.
Yeah.
For what is it? Archaic Abattoir?
Yeah.
Am I remembering that right? By Aborted, and I landed on a 13 for a total of 28.
That's pretty good.
I think it beats the Bravery by 1 point.
I think so. Which is more than 1 point better than the Bravery's album, I'll say.
Yeah, it's way more than 1 point better.
Yeah.
Well, you got to do
it's that impact at the time thing.
Pan.
Yeah.
I know. It's insane.
Yeah, reviews, 8 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. So, like,
oh, yeah.
Super great.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
good.
don't get me wrong. Most of the things I don't like about this are subjective. I mean, it's still really, they did well.
Yeah.
Like, songwriting's great. I mean, they did a good job.
Yeah. Maybe it's not for everyone, but, like, you can definitely throw it on.
Yeah. And if you do just like straightforward death metal, you still would probably enjoy this. I mean,
I can't see somebody liking Bloodbath and not enjoying this.
Oh, I see when you put it like that, I'm like, I could absolutely see someone be like, "This not even fucking."
Well, yeah, there's people who would do that, but they would still be enjoying this.
Yeah.
They would just grumble and bitch and moan about it.
Exactly. They would act like they hate it, even though it's like, that's like, yeah. Yeah, we see you.
Yeah.
We see you.
Yeah.
We know you and have been you at some point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. What? Now we pick our favorite songs at this point. You know, it's funny. A few episodes ago, afterward, when we were talking about whether we were going to make a new playlist for 05 or not.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, did you combine the 03 and 04? And I'm like, shit, I don't know. I didn't think about it. We didn't start doing favorites until Unearth.
Yeah.
So it worked out. I didn't have to do
horrible
any extra
album
work
to start with, as far as picking a favorite song.
Unbelievable. I'll never forget that it was that one, because I remember thinking we could have waited one more week.
You bag of dicks.
So much easier.
Yep.
I know. I was so pissed. But anyway, we will be picking our favorite songs off this album and putting them on the TDTL Favorite Songs 05 playlist. Josh, what is your favorite song on the album?
My favorite song is The Inertia. Just it sticks out. Like there's that little riff, and it's a great hook. It's a great song. It's 3.5 minutes long. It's right in the middle of the album, so it sucks you back in when you've started to wander. It's great.
Totally agree. That was my second choice. So
nice.
I'm glad you picked it.
Yep.
And I was actually got nervous that I didn't just. My whole plan on this episode was to go first, because I definitely had my choice.
Nice.
Unlike normal, when I'm like, I don't know. But track 5, the Gangrenous Epitaph, is my It and it's not death metal. The first minute of that song could have been in a She's a Nightmare song. Weirdly, like maybe not exactly. I understand that that's a little ticky tack, but like. It doesn't sound like it would have been in a Cannibal Corpse song in the same year. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah. So no, I loved it. Honestly, those two songs, that's the thing for me. Like right in the middle of this album, you got a lot of like new breath, and it kind of gets you going again a little bit. So no, I totally agree with that. I'm glad you picked The Inertia.
Sick.
Yeah.
Weird sidebar again. I didn't realize that Vault of Horrors, each of the songs is based off of a horror movie. Oh, not even a horror movie. Track 7 is based on Dogma by Kevin Smith, the Jay and Silent Bob movie. Yeah.
The movie's great.
Yeah.
Alanis Morissette's God.
Yeah. I mean, that part's factual, but...
True enough.
The rest of them are
Do you watch
horror
her documentary?
movies.
Anyway. That's awesome. I'm glad. So just one isn't, and it's Dogma?
Yeah.
You know, in its own way, Dogma kind of is a horror movie if you really want to.
It does have the Golgothan in it. And I think that track is called Golgothan, actually.
And the overall just
track 7,
like sense
the Golgothan, yeah.
like impending Armageddon.
Yeah, shit monster. And yeah, impending Armageddon. Armageddon out of here. Yep, we will see you behind Ye Ole Slaughterhouse.
Ugh, gross.
That's not good. Yeah.
That is where you would shoot your meat, though.
Ew. Or not.
Put them. You got to put it down a chute.
You do.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's CHUTE, gang.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get your chutes out of the gutter.
20 chutes.
Definitely with that. He's been
I will
Brad.
Represent you for 20 chutes. Sorry.
He's been Brad. I've been Josh. We've both been dumb and 2 decades too late.